How y'all doing today? My name is Chris. I'm the Clinical Education Manager for iSimulate. We'll be going over the REALITi 360 simulation system we have here at iSimulate. The core of the system is iPad based, so we have a 13-inch monitor, 13-inch iPad acting as the monitor you see here in this yellow case. I'm sharing it here in this screen right here. We have a 10.2-inch iPad as the control. I'm sharing mine here to the left. We have one that can act as the chart, kind of like an EPR. We have one that lives in a padcaster you can utilize as a camera for a video debriefing system. We have a CPR module that links in, gives you an AHA compliant CPR log at the end. It'll also induce artifact on the monitor, as well as if you are using one of the specific monitors like the Zoll series that has a proprietary resuscitation dashboard, it'll activate that and pop up and simulate it the same way the clinical monitors do on the street. And then here you'll see a little iPod. It can be the Android or iPhone of a student, and they, while watching the video in another room, can actually engage, make impressions, put comments to be utilized in the debrief. So that's our core system here with REALITi 360. We're going to go on some of the features. First one being you can embed any image or video, and that's what I did here. I just embedded an image of the simulation equipment. So here we'll switch into the scenario. So you'll see me doing stuff on the right side on the monitor. That's what the student would be using. And then I'll also be doing controls on the left side, which is what the instructor would be doing. Let's turn the volume down because it can get realistically stressful throughout the scenario. So here you see the waveforms kicking off on the monitor. Student would draw blood pressure as if they would do on the street. While that's dialing up, I'll show you a feature where you can put text on the monitor. So this is a cool feature to use if you're doing screen recording for some of the online learning stuff you may not have seen us do with EMS World and some of the other social sites. So you can actually have the text of a scenario or a patient pop up, screen recording all the vital signs afterwards, and then put it on an LMS for like a discussion board or a case review if you wanted to. So you can also trend within the system. What I'm doing now is I'm going on the left side here where the events are. So this is a pre-built scenario. You can also do things dynamically, which we'll hit on here in a second. Here's the example of the person over 10 seconds tacking up, desatting, end tidal going down, so the perfusion dropping. So you get good physiologic response, which I like. It's not an instant gratification. So it's not just this change, this change, this change. It actually can transition throughout. So let's go fast. So we'll put this person in SVT, and while we do it, we're going to show you another one of our monitors, a LifePack 15. Person's in SVT. Here's an example of a scenario where we built it as if they were going to give adenosine. So say systole will last 3 seconds, jump into a cardioverted sinus rhythm, and we have our transition. Well, we'll go back here. You'll see this little lightning bolt right here. What that means is electrical therapy will trigger the jump. So we'll go ahead and hit our sync button. We'll go ahead and drive down to our 50. Charge up. And if you watch when I hit and hold shock, it's going to create the transition through the scenario. So we have some advanced ECG settings we'll throw in here now. So artifact, ectopy, you can add, customize your ECGs as much as you want. So you'll see here we have PVCs, PACs, PJCs. You can pick the perfusion quality of your ectopy. So if you want the pulse ox pleth to be poor, it can be poor along with that ectopy. Electrical interference. And then again, the artifact. I'm from Virginia, so I call 5th degree of artifact VDOT because you get loss of contact, you get baseline sway. You can pick the interstate you're driving on, and it makes it more realistic. So we'll kick these away. So let's add some waveforms. So we're going to switch over here to GE CareScape, dump in the arterial line here, and then critical care waves. Critical care waves are included in the system for free. So you got your ICP, you got your CVP, and we'll go through how to add that. So ICP, here's your different morphologies. You pick your value, hit send. Same with CVP. And then PA. Cool thing about this is actually as you migrate through where the tip of the catheter would be, you'll notice the morphology changes. And so you can just hit send and that will transition over to the monitor. So critical care waveforms are included in the system. They're available on the GE CareScape, Philips IntelliView, and the Zoll series monitors, whether it's the ProPac MD or the X. Let's go to another monitor. Let's go to the MD and change some stuff. So here we have a change in our untitled CO2 waveform. You'll see that Carrari clef kicking in, so the paralysis is wearing off. Hopefully triggers the provider running this scenario to resedate the patient and drop them. Jump over to everybody's favorite. Let's shock this one. So switch over to a LifePak 20. In this case, put the person into a course V fib. And you'll see here I can hit CPR. So while the crew is doing CPR, I can induce CPR artifact over top. So this is different than the CPR module I talked about earlier. You're clear, I'm clear, we're all clear. And in this case, I set it up so that right after shock, you would get your lab work. This is something you can do dynamically or something you can set up ahead of time where the labs pop up after an action. And then last, ventilator. So we have the Ravel and the EMV Plus right now, working on a handful more to put into the system here in the near future. But just like the monitor, can kick in your different modes, change your values. So switch back to, here's a brief view of all the monitors we have. Get the generic ones, you get the ventilator. Switch over to back to the Zolex. Send. A couple other things you can do with the system. We have 78 different ECGs. Any of the ones that have this icon right here will print out a high-res 12 lead. So it's whatever the heart rate is at the time of acquisition. Let's turn up that SpO2 so we drop that alarm off. And you get your 12 lead. You can zoom in, zoom out. This is a 12 lead that can be converted to a PDF. As a feature of the iPad, you can take an Apple Pencil, mark up on here, and you can use our system to do ECG training, basic EKG review, advanced EKG review. System comes with a built-in checklist on the right. You get sounds embedded in. So you get conversational sounds.
I'm going to be sick.
You get some bodily sounds, everybody's favorite. And then we also have lung sounds built in. We have a stethoscope coming out here in the future that will be linked into the system. So this is the start to that integration. Media, like I said, you can embed any image file. We have an agreement with Life in the Fast Lane. So we have their image sets. You can add your own, and then lab work. It's like we talked about earlier. You can build your own labs and push your own labs. So that's a brief overview of the REALITi 360 system. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us at info@isimulate.com or visit us at isimulate.com.